Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the George.Daniel podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel, and today we have a really dope guest. But before all that, I do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Liquid Death. You can get them at www.liquiddeath.com or any convenience store. And Matt, how we doing? How was your week?
Chilling, dude. It's good. It's been busy. Work, editing, rainy.
Yeah, the weather fucked me up this week, honestly. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you guys this female DJ who's been fucking killing it, throwing parties as well, and just setting a vibe everywhere she goes. Olivia, how are we doing?
Amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Do you want to kind of give your socials and everything so like people can find you or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. So first, just want to say thank you so much for having me here today. Super excited to be on the podcast with you guys. My name is Olivia Maddox. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Olivia. So that's spelled OHHHLIVIAH. You can also find me on Facebook, Olivia Maddox. That's where you can get me.
Cool. So like we were talking earlier, right? And like I want to big you up so much because within the last like year and a half, mainly is when I've seen you like really like, you know, pedal to the metal, like out there, right? And that's maybe also when I first just met you or like, you know, came across you at a party or whatever. But also like it has been so dope watching you just elevate constantly. So I want to give you your flowers first. But like, yeah, explain to me how someone, you know, like one gets into the scene, and then two, like with you've opened up for people like Maddox, you've been at the Fisher Block party, you've played at 1015 and just like been doing a bunch of stuff, like even Kevin Knapp, right? And yeah, that's so fucking sick, right? Like, so kind of walk me through the beginnings of who you as an artist were, and all that.
Yeah, totally. So DJing was kind of like a pandemic hobby for me, as it was for like a lot of other people, you know, sitting in the house. I was actually living with somebody who had decks in our house, so it was easy for me to kind of learn, and I was lucky enough that I got to learn on CDJs. So that was really cool. And then, during the pandemic, when we had the shelter in place, that was kind of like a rough time for a lot of us in the, music industry who are used to being social and going out. So I started getting into renegades, and I was part of this renegade crew where we'd go out to like, near the ocean, and we'd throw parties and stuff and just DJ there. And that's really where I had my first show in front of people, was kind of at these renegades. So I started doing that. And then from there, I did my first show at 800 Larkin or Barbarella.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was cool. I played upstairs there, and we had a pretty big crowd because it was still during the pandemic when they weren't really supposed to be open. But, some bars, they had to make money to survive. So they were just like, fuck it. Like, let's throw a party here. So I had a pretty big crowd there. And then after the show, like, people kept coming up to me and saying like, wow, I loved your set. Like, I love your music selection, blah, blah, blah. And then it's kind of like, shit, really? Me? Like, you actually like it? And I'd like ask my friends, I'd be like, do you think they're just saying that because they want to be nice to me? Or do you think like they actually like it?
Right.
So that kind of gave me a little bit of a boost of confidence. And I'm always, promoting my shows and posting on Instagram. So I think that's definitely helped kind of get my name out there. And definitely it's all about like who you know, you got to make those connections. And
for sure. Yeah. Cause I mean, I've seen you, even if you're on the lineup or not, like I see you at these events, and like what I love about like, honestly, I wish I had this more, is like, but you like really get into it. Like you dead ass get into it, like me getting into it is me showing up, right? Yeah. But I'm going to be wearing black, and I'm going to be, but you fucking dress up, and it's fucking so dope, cause like just outwardly expressing yourself. Right. And then like, I've seen you on lineups, for even like, I think it was like a Burning Man group or something like that. Right. with like Ampersand and others. But yeah, it's just like it's so sick seeing you like kind of do all these shows. Like was it Clooney who you've opened up for at 10:15?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like just like seeing how like connected you are, because like in my head, like if you're in the Burning Man scene, you're a certain sound, but also you can do the big rooms and like handle your shit. So that's just like kudos to you for being such a good DJ, and knowing your crowd and blah blah blah. But like yeah, that's so sick. And like you starting to DJ. What, 2 years ago, maybe, right? Ish?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Like, like going from learning to like playing these shows, like must be fucking exciting, So kind of like what, like for you, like, do you ever like kind of just look back and be like, damn, dude, I did that,
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm always pinching myself, like, what the F? Who am I opening up for? Like, this is crazy. But yeah, I kind of never thought that I would be in this position. It was kind of just like a hobby during the pandemic. And I was like, if a few people want to book me here and there, like whatever, like
right.
I'm not, like super, like I have a full-time career from, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So music isn't my whole thing, but it's definitely one of my passions. So I never expected it to get this big, but I always told myself, like, I'm not going to say no to opportunity. So if someone is willing to book me and give me an opportunity, then fuck yeah, I'm going to go out there and get it.
And are you part of a collective, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You're part of Soundproof, right?
No. I love Soundproof, but not my collective.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good homies in there. Jackie Little, she actually is one who I learned to DJ with.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, dope.
So yeah, the guy who was teaching me how to DJ also showed her for the first time. But yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. And both of you guys are fucking killing it.
Yeah, no, I have mad
awesome.
respect for Jackie. She definitely takes her craft super seriously and like is a really incredible DJ. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. My collective is GH Entertainment.
Oh, okay, bet. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know Jay. He's kind of the one who created it. We also got a lot of other great people in there. Spooky, Haboob, Lena.
Right. Oh yeah. Like literally, I was kind of a Jace to Lena.
Oh yeah.
Like she played somewhere and then I just missed her, like as she was leaving or whatever. And yeah, like I've seen her name pop up everywhere lately, and it's so fucking sick,
Yeah,
just like she's been doing it for not that long either, so like yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the people in my collective, they are extremely talented, not just music wise, but also like the business side of things. Like that's something that's really opened my eyes. Is like, how do we run a collective? Like how do we do our marketing? How do we do our SMS messages? Dude. How do we do our email marketing? Like all of these things. And like I swear Haboob is like basically building websites and stuff. Like he's a really smart guy.
Right.
Lena like has her own marketing business. It's just like I'm surrounded by these really talented people that I'm like, wow, this is awesome that I'm getting
that's so fucking sick. Because I think like a lot of times artists are artists, right? They're artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess don't really think of the other side of things, We just expect things to come because we did it and we deserve it, and we do deserve it, but also you need to like learn how to, one, ask for those things, and also like market yourself, right? And also like constantly like go above and beyond, any expectation. So yeah, like that's awesome to hear that you guys are focused on like everything, right? Because a lot of collectives are just happy to fill a room, which is still cool. But yeah, so like when did you guys start the collective?
So I'm not sure when exactly Jay started it, but I joined about a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with all that, like when like can some like when are you guys like planning to do another show, or do you guys have anything in the calendar?
Yeah, so we're actually celebrating Jay's birthday this weekend. We're going to be at a rooftop. You guys can find all the information on my Instagram. But yeah, we're throwing a big rooftop party. We were supposed to do it, I think, last week, but it got rained out. So fingers crossed.
At
Hopefully
Temple?
No, not Temple rooftop. It's actually a private rooftop.
Oh,
It's
okay.
this really cool space.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But in the
I
city.
think is that the place that where Watts has thrown some things at?
He might
maybe?
have. Let's see. Yeah.
But yeah, like I think if you have the opportunity to throw any rooftop party in San Francisco, like that's fucking sick.
Right.
And it's like such a vibe. But yeah, I hope like everything is fun this weekend.
Yeah.
And happy birthday, Jay, I guess. But yeah, like when you first what was your first like big like artist that you were like opening up for?
Man, I mean, I want to say my biggest to date would be the Fisher Block Party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was definitely the biggest to date. I mean, I've done Clooney. I've done, yeah. I mean, so many. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, okay, when you got on, like in front of the decks, right? Like, how was it? Like, what was your like thought process? Like, were you like? I feel like I blank sometimes, So like, I couldn't even imagine doing that and like opening up for a big artist, like actually opening up. Like,
Yeah.
it scares me.
Yeah.
It's still, but I mean, I'm happy to do it. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah, for some reason, like, I don't know where this confidence in me comes from, because I've never really thought of myself as like a confident person. But when I get up there, it's just like, I mean, at first I used to have to drink, and like I would, drink a couple drinks.
right.
And then,
You get in the mood.
loosen up and
Yeah.
stuff, and then I'd be totally fine. But recently, I just had a show at Halcyon where it was Mal P, and that was like
yeah.
he's like the Drugs from Amsterdam song. But that was a huge show for me, and it was sold out. And I was talking to the manager beforehand, and he's like, "Yeah, number one mistake people make is like they drink too much." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna drink.
Yeah.
So then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be so nervous when I get up there." But
Yeah.
for some reason, I don't know where this confidence came from, but it just
Like
all
all that,
guess,
like
yeah.
all that adrenaline probably just kicked in. You're like, all right,
Yeah,
we're here,
It may come from like when I was a kid growing up. I did a bunch of like musical theater. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like. Okay, so growing up, right? What were your kind of like inspirations? You mentioned musical theater, but like music wise, what were you listening to?
Yeah, so I mean, I know in high school I had a reggae phase where I was into like Bob Marley, and I would go to like the Reggae on the River. That was that was like very beginning of like when I really started getting into music. Then after that, I met through work. I was a lifeguard in high school, and I met this other girl named Olivia, and she was called my rave mom, I don't know if you're used to like the rave scene, but yeah, she started taking me to shows and stuff. So then I got into like Calvin Harris and Tiesto, and like we'd go to Identity Festival, like ATD Pop, like all those raves.
Right.
So that's really where I started getting into electronic music, and then from there just started going to festivals.
Did you go to Identity in Mountain View?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The last year that I was there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was my first rave.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's like one of my first ones.
That was my
too.
first one. Yeah, I was like 14, 15 sneaking in.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. But
yeah, we used to do like all the bedazzled bras and stuff. Like me and my friends would make like the craziest outfits.
I was so young and dumb. I Googled like festival wear. Like I Googled that, and I was like, all right, bros with tanks, all right, bandanas, or like fuzzy stuff. And I was like, I can cut up a shirt and I can be the bro, I guess, And yeah, like that. I was like 14, like just running around, like it was so much fun. Yeah, that was my first taste of like just the community aspect of everything, like how big this genre is, right?
Yeah.
And then but before all that, you mentioned musical theater, right? And you did that throughout like your adolescence, I guess, or
Yeah. So I was in 14 plays growing up. Yeah. So I was,
shit. Okay, that's dope. Hell yeah.
I did San Jose Children's Musical Theater. I also did one in the Santa Cruz Mountains. It was
Right.
I forget what it's called now, but I had some big parts. I was Wendy in Peter Pan. I was Glinda in The Wizard of Oz. So I think that kind of gave me my like stage presence.
Yeah,
which
no,
I think
for
I try
sure,
and
for sure.
try try and bring to
so
DJing.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Because, like, I mean, yeah, like, most of the artists who I've talked to, they've been more like athletes, I guess, and then became like musicians, or were always like musicians. So they were always part of a group, right? In school, it's always like the band, or you're in blah, 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 or you're in choir. But like theater gives you, cause I did like 2 years of acting, right? So like, I kind of like, I get it, you know, even though I never did a play, I was never there, but even just like having to rehearse and everything with everyone, it was like really interesting to be like, oh, we're part of this thing, but also like these next lines or these next seconds are like about me, right? And if I fuck up, then it looks bad for everyone. So that's super interesting, and it's a different mindset, you know, that you kind of build. But yeah, like I can see how like when you're like, I don't know where this confidence comes from. It's like it's training. It's not it's like you've been there, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's fucking sick. So that probably like makes sense as to like why like in these like high pressure situations, I guess, like DJing and opening up for these artists, you're just kind of like calm, cool, and collected, and you're just like, I'm fucking here to party, let's go, you know. But that's fucking sick. That's awesome. And then like kind of like describe to me like your style a little bit as an artist. Like who do you want, like when people like Google you, I guess, like what like would you want them to like kind of like see?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely play tech house music. I'm a huge dancer, so I love to play music that makes people want to dance. Obviously, I guess most DJs do, but I am not afraid of playing music with lyrics in it. I know a lot of DJs, they kind of just like doing no lyrics, like all instrumental, like whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm really inspired by a lot of Dirty Bird artists. I love Eric Prydz. I mean, he's not Dirty Bird, but yeah, like he's another artist that inspires me. Yeah. Shiba San is one of my favorites.
Right.
Claude, Justin Martin. So I kind of have similar sounds to
like
play similar.
So would you say like you're big like, because I like all those artists that you just named were like the same artists that I fucked with, right?
Yeah.
So like you were kind of like brought up in like that 2016 2019 like Dirty Bird era in the Bay Area, right? Yeah, because like same, like literally all those artists are like art and just genres are like what really influenced me today. And Shiba San is a huge one, because yes, it's tech house, but and then also when you see Shiba San live, he scratches and he does all this other playful shit as a DJ, right? Which is awesome. But with that said, like, can you tell me like maybe like your top 3 DJs that you've seen live, and you know, or
yeah, I would definitely say Shiba San. I always loved Shiba San. Eric Prydz, oh my god, like that was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. I think I was probably like 23 or something, and I saw him in San Francisco, and just like was like the most amazing, like most fun show ever. Just like gigging the whole time, just like awesome.
What like, because you go to a lot, like you get invited to go to all these shows, right? Like, so out of all of them, like which one would you say was your favorite like vibe of a show? Because like honestly, like me, I'm really interested into like yeah, there's events, right? But it's also like themed ones, right? That are also super fun. I don't know if you've been to like what the fuck is it called? It's in Detroit.
Movement.
Yeah, Movement, right? And they have like each, like if you've been to Movement, like you'll understand it. So like yeah, it's like what, like I feel like you're more of the fuck, why can't I remember their name? They have a tent there.
Elro,
yeah.
Oh my god, I love Elro.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're more that vibe, right?
Oh fuck yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, I actually went to the first ARC in Chicago, the ARC Music Festival, and saw like Fisher at Elro. Who else do we see? Kyle Walker. The
Kyles.
Yeah. I always fuck up their names. Right. I always call one of them, the other one, and the
Yeah.
other one. Yeah, I always fuck up the last names, but yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, dude, Elro is fucking sick. That's like such a party stage, and that's kind of like my end all, like be all of like what I would like to do is like be more than just a DJ, like be actually creating a vibe and creating a party, you know, like
Right.
whether it's bubbles or like getting people in wigs or like throwing glasses out to the crowd, like whatever, like
Right.
make it more of an experience than just like a DJ.
Yeah,
set, you
and
know?
I've noticed that, which is why I brought it up, you know, because it's like you, like your collective, think of like all of, like every scenario, right? It's like, yes, throwing an event is cool, but also what if we did this? And then also what if we added this? And like all of a sudden now you have this whole like new idea that is 10 times better, that is going to be like more memorable than just like hosting a party. Right.
Yeah, that's like one of the things that I did when I was working with 1015 is they kind of outsourced the basement to me for like several shows where I would have to create a vibe down there. So not only was I booking the DJs, I was also doing the decorations. So like for Green Velvet, like on Halloween, they had a Mad Hatter's party.
Oh, okay.
So I made like the DJ booth, like all these teacups and
Yeah,
like all
yeah,
this
yeah.
cool stuff. And then on New Year's Eve, we had Polo and Pan, and they're kind of like a 60s vibe. So I
Mm-hmm.
did like all these records hanging behind the DJ booth, like all
Okay.
this art and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's like
That's cool.
like really fun for me, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
because
yeah.
I love doing like the party planning stuff.
And yeah, it's like I feel like that's like your energy that I get. It's just like you're like a creative through and through. Like that's why I mentioned like the outfits and like how you know like how involved you are in a moment that is like that. I think like you realize that is bigger than you, but also like you can help enhance it. If that makes sense, which is like cool, you know, and like unique and like, and yeah, but like for you as an artist, right? Like where, like in 5 years, like where would you want to be, right? As an artist, this is just like, I mean, forgetting your day job and blah, blah, blah is kind of pretend land, right? Like, like where would you like to be?
So one of my goals right now is to be playing festivals. Like I would love to be, you know, going to all these festivals that I love, like, you know, whether it's Dirty Bird Camp Out or whether it's Lightning in a Bottle, Northern Nights, all of those, I would love to like be playing there. So that's kind of one of my goals is to be able to play some festivals.
And like, at any point, are you trying to like release music or do anything like that?
You know, that's the next thing in the works. Between my full-time job right now and then my side hustle, I haven't had a whole lot of time to get into it, but it's definitely something I've considered. I have a lot of friends who are amazing producers and they've been showing me things here and there. I also know producing is super hard. So, it's like, shit,
okay.
I don't...
Literally, like I don't produce either.
Yeah,
so like
right?
I'm just like, dude, it's just so time consuming. It looks like.
Yeah.
And like it's not that I don't want to put in the time, you know. It's just more so like I don't have the time to give currently. you know?
And one of my friends just told me we were talking about producing. He's like, "You're not even good at computers, though. So why do you think you could produce?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, you might be right. I don't know."
I mean, but if you think about it, it's just one app you need to learn.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like once you learn that app, then you can kind of play with it how you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with you, okay, so like did you grow up here in the Bay Area or
I did, yeah, right next door, Los Gatos.
Oh shit, dope.
Yeah,
oh hell
yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Damn, that's hella okay, that's crazy. So like you as a South Bay kid, right? It's like you moved up north now. So like you kind of view like San Francisco like a little bit differently than like all the other people who moved there, right? From like out of state and stuff like that, you know? Like whenever I go to San Francisco, I view it as like kind of like a playground, you know, where it's just like, oh shit, like, okay, well, I'm in the city, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if like you have that, like kind of mentality.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco is definitely a playground. Like
Yeah.
there's something to do almost every night, you know? It's like you have friends asking you out for a happy hour on a Monday because it's $1 oysters, and then on a Wednesday somebody has a show at F8
Right.
and they want you to go to. It's like so many fun things that it's like, shit, I got to ground myself like Monday through Thursday because
Yeah.
I got to get up in the morning and I can't be hungover. And if I'm hungover, I'm not going to sell
That's what
anything to
scares
anybody.
me. Honestly,
you know?
like I would love to live in San Francisco, but
Yeah. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous.
It'll eat me up and, spit me right back, down here, fucking struggling again. But yeah, no, like I would love to live in San Francisco. Once I get like, a better secure job in the city, preferably,
Yeah,
like if you have to commute anywhere too far, like even if you have to like commute to like Redwood City, like that's still kind of a bitch.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, like being so accessible to all these clubs so goddamn always, and everyone is so good and fun, these are all your friends, these
right?
So it's just like, oh yeah, what, like why am I not gonna go see my friend, even if it's just for 2 hours, but 2 hours is 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and then you're always like, well shit, I don't go to bed until midnight anyway, I might as well go support my friend
and like listen to good music and then blah blah blah, and the next you're at someone else's house and it's 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
And you're like, God damn
that's the thing is I realize like I don't have self-control to tell myself to go home at a certain time, so it's like if I'm going out, like I need to realize that that's gonna be till like super late, so I either have self-control and don't go out, or I just have to accept that like it's gonna be a long
night. Yeah. Anytime I go to the city, because I have to drive from here, like I'm just like, dude, I'm going to the after hours no matter what. Like I have to. Like I drove all the way over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it a night, like I'm not gonna not go. And then next thing you know, it's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm driving the freeway back home. I'm like fucking dead eyed, just but yeah, like I love the city and it's so much fun. But like for you living in the city right now, like how does one manage that? Like how does one like kind of practice self-control? Because it's not like you're not going to do it every time, right? We're fucking human. We want to go see our friends, like, but like, yeah, how do you practice that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice on this, but I think it's just kind of, you got to pick and choose like what you're going to go out for. So if like you have a really good homie that's playing on Thursday night, whatever, like go do that, but maybe you're not going to go to the show on Monday night. And I've also I recently listened to a podcast about sleep and how important sleep is. And that kind of got into my mind. They said like all of the sleep that you miss in life, you actually can't gain it back. Like it's that damage. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
This is that damage that it's done to you is never recoverable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I've been doing a lot of all-nighters, I need to chill out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, earlier in the year, I told myself, I'm like, I'm giving myself like 6 months. To like do all this shit, go to the after hours, do all the bullshit, like run around. But I'm giving myself 6 months because then after that, like I need to be able to just be like, nah, I'm not going, But like also like branding, like you need to market, you need to be there, blah blah blah. But yeah, like so far I think I've been doing pretty okay. But also like whenever I do go out, I'm like on a 2-day bender, just fucking running around, and it's just like not kosher. But yeah, like for you, like playing at places like, or playing alongside like Fisher and Maddion and Clooney, as we mentioned, like for you, are you maybe now looking at like expanding and going to like trying to play in SoCal or playing in Nevada or something like that?
Yeah, no, I definitely love to do that if it makes sense, But yeah, I definitely love to expand. I do have some connections in Colorado. They've been trying to get me to go out there. I do have some friends in San Diego. So yeah, I'm totally open. The opportunity hasn't really come about just yet, but
so
I'm
like
sure
with you guys, with you and the collective, like, do you guys ever talk about like the expansion of said collective?
Yeah, we do talk a little bit about it. So actually, Jay is kind of friends with Vintage Culture. So we're going to go to Las Vegas with him next weekend. So
Okay.
that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So that's he's-
probably like the beginnings of the whole like, okay, let's see what we can do, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
that's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you guys.
Also, like one of the shows that I just played, Sizak was the headliner at Love and Propaganda. The show is called The Road to Shebang. Shebang is a music festival in SoCal or in SLO. It's going to be the first weekend of May. So Jay got from my DJ collective. He got on the lineup there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of expanding. But yeah, they're trying to get me on the lineup, but I think it was a little bit too late. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's
know?
exciting. Like as a group and as a collective, like seeing the ball kind of roll and just being
Yeah.
like, oh no, okay, we're now like being invited to these places.
I'm also
is awesome.
Yeah, I'm also in the end of June, early July. I'm going to do this other festival. It's called Star Vibes Camp Out.
Okay,
It's up
cool.
north.
Yeah,
I don't know if you. Yeah,
of
awesome.
course.
So I'm going to be playing there. I'm super excited.
Yeah, last summer I think they asked us as the Meraki to go out there.
Oh, cool.
But like it just like didn't make sense for any of us like at
Okay.
the time,
Yeah.
you know, or at least like it would only have been me. You know,
Uh-huh.
and it was just like I can't represent the entire group. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's like 6 of us. Like, what are we doing? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like that would have been really tight. I've seen like all the homies I played over there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like it just feels like all the local acts, right, going out and just like throwing down and having a good time and just
Yeah.
building relationships. But yeah, like with you mentioned earlier, like it's who you know a lot of the times. So like how did like you also mentioned that you were the booking for downstairs at 10:15. So like how like obviously you applied right at some point, but it's also you kind of cut some lines, right? You know, right? But yeah, like how, like for you, like once you got that, I don't care who gave it to you, but it's like how you, like when you got that, like what were you, like what were your goals with that? Like, were you trying to be like, oh, I'm going to throw like little parties, right? Within a bigger party or like when booking people? Because that's probably really daunting, you know, right?
Yeah, no, it was an awesome opportunity that DJ Dials gave me. Shout out DJ Dials, thank you. But yeah, it was just like a cool opportunity to be able to book talent and create a vibe down there. I really wanted to do it because it helped me get my feet wet with kind of like the event planning and everything else that like goes into, you know, creating a party for people. So basically I was a party thrower. I think the way I got that is I said, hey, I'm starting to like take off as a DJ. Like, can you book me as a DJ? And his response was, yeah, I could book you as a DJ, but I actually want you to do this downstairs because I don't have enough, you know, bandwidth to be able to do this and everything else I'm doing. So I was like, perfect, let's freaking go.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then I'm like knowing, like Dials a little bit, you got like I feel like you probably were able to like kind of pick his brain a little bit also, like ask him questions at least and be like, hey, like what should I do if this happens or blah blah blah. So that's probably like a really good resource to have. And like that's awesome because Dials has been doing shit since like I don't even know how long, you know, I don't know
he's
how long
right?
I don't know how long I've had his email, you know, I just circulate, like just fucking always inviting me to shit or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking sick. And then like, so what are you like? What are some of your like I guess like not necessarily goals, but like when you do start producing, right? Like, how would you want like that sound to be, right? It's obviously gonna be tech house, right? But yeah, is there like maybe 3 artists that you can kind of like jumbled together and be like, oh, like kind of like this vibe?
Yeah, maybe like Shiva San, Justin Martin. Shoot. I mean, I kind of really like Clooney right now.
Yeah.
It's always changing though, you know?
Yeah. No, I fucking love Justin Martin. Like literally, like Justin Martin during the pandemic, he really did like he did his live streams and everything, and I was just like, dude, I need these 2 hours. Like I needed these 2 hours from you.
Yeah, dude, and he's such a freaking homie. Like Renegade Masquerade, they had this really cool Renegade at Mile Rock Beach, and like he came down and he played a Renegade during COVID. It's like that's like such a cool person, you know, even though they're super famous, like, they can still like be able to share their art with people like for free. Like,
right.
That's dope.
Yeah, no, I went to one of those Renegade Masquerade ones, and I think it was like it was Artiland who came out, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I was just like you know, strolling by, like, but yeah, dude, it was so fucking funny just going over there, and then knowing that it's just like Renegade Masquerade. I met both of them who kind of run it, and yeah, it was just like so like they're so humble about everything they do, but I'm like, dude, you guys are giving so much to the community just by doing these free things, you know, even if it's just someone's first time going to your thing, like, or an experience like that, like they're just like, holy shit, you know what they're doing in San Francisco? You know, it's just like they're just throwing parties out on the beach, you know, or like up by like a trail or some shit.
Yeah, I have this really funny memory from the Renegade at Mile Rock Beach. Like right at the end, you know how they have all that equipment down there, and it's like quite a hike to get down to the beach. They're like giving it all the stuff to people to like bring up. So this guy gives me like this big bag of trash to carry up, and I'm like, you know, trying to carry it up the hill, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is like 40 pounds. I can't do it. So I had to like drop it on the side. Hope the next person would pick it up. But it's just like, it's like such a renegade mentality. Like everyone has to help out. Like everyone.
Yeah, no, like going down to where they do it and then lugging it all the way up. It's like 3 flights of stairs,
right?
You know, and it's like, and you're like,
3 flights is like 10. Do you think?
No. Maybe I was.
It felt like a mile to me.
I mean, honestly, and it felt like a mile, and I was just walking down with my backpack. You know, like I could like not imagine like with speakers and all that shit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, no. Shout out to them. You guys are giving so much to the community. So yeah. But yeah, like any idea, like for you, right? Like me, my sound always changes like constantly. Maybe it's because I have like ADHD, you know? But like, do you ever feel like you're gonna like maybe dabble in something like what like Mary Droppins does?
Oh yeah, she's
and like
dope.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, do you take in like any sort of like inspiration from other genres when you mix?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely open. Like if it's a bang, like that's one thing that people have told me. They're like, wow, you kind of have balls out there. Like you mix like a little bit more like out of genre, right. You know, like you have variety in your sets, and I take that as a compliment. But yeah, no, I'm definitely always open to like doing things. Like if the song's a banger, it's a banger. Like I just want to play something fun and, you know, makes people want to dance.
When is your next show?
My next show, so this Sunday I'm doing the Rooftop. I also have Sage Armstrong at Monarch on April 29th. That's a Friday. After that, I'm going to be doing the End Up. But yeah, those are like my 2 shows that are coming up, and then it always seems like stuff pops up in between. But yeah.
Because did you ever play the After Hours?
I play After Hours. Yeah. So I recently did Record Bar or Calypso.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool. Also, I'm going to be playing at Star Vibes Camp Out. That's on the books too.
Right. And then you said that was May?
That is June. Late June to early July. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Are you excited for like festival season? And if so, what festival?
Yeah.
And if so, what festival are you excited for?
Oh my God. So we're going to go to Shebang. Me and my DJ collective, we're going to go to Shebang. That's going to be cool.
Right. And you said that was in San Diego?
San Luis Obispo. Okay. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I've never been there before. Also, I love Northern Nights. Some of the homies, they have the homies from Temple, they have a stage there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really sick.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to do Lightning in a Bottle this year. Definitely going to do Outside Lands.
I'm going to Outside Lands for sure. Yeah. That one's going to be fun. Just because it's literally in our backyards, kind of, you know? Like, why would you not go? Like, that's how I feel about Shoreline shows. I'm like, it's right here. Why would I should just go.
Yeah. I also want to go to Splash House.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've never been to that one.
I just see all the videos, and they all look so sick.
Right?
So sick.
So those are like my favorite type of parties, like pool parties or
Okay.
like boat parties or something.
yeah.
I actually
Did you have like a boat party like recently?
Yeah. So I was hoping you would ask me about my parties. Yeah. So I've thrown some pretty dope parties. So like the first, I'll tell you the whole story of my line of parties that I've thrown. So it first started out with my best friend Caitlin, her birthday party. And what we did was we rented the twerkulator. I don't know if you've heard.
Oh,
have
yeah,
you,
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
gold bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that. Got all the DJ equipment on there. Took it up to my mom's house in Danville. She has like a nice like backyard pool, hot tub, fire pit, all that stuff. Had all the DJs there. Had a great party. It was awesome. And then when it came time for my birthday party, Caitlin wanted to return the favor to me.
That's cool.
So she was like, "Oh, I'll give you a venue." And I was like, "Cool. Like, what's the venue?" She's like, "Oh, it's the office space of kink.com." And
Oh, okay.
I don't know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of like before like Pornhub, I guess, is the only way I know how to describe them.
Yeah.
But anyway, like it was this super awesome office building that had like 4 different floors, and it had like all of these like sex apparatuses and like all of this like porn paintings on the wall and stuff. Like I had a normal party, like fully clothed. There was actually
Yeah.
the theme was disco glam theme, but still to this day, I see people posting the pictures from my birthday party like on Instagram and stuff. Just
That's
like,
cool.
and people are still talking about it. They're like, yeah, that was the party of the year. So that was really fun. And then so recently I threw one of my good friends, Alex, I threw his birthday party. We rented our friend Rio and his yacht, and we took that out, had the DJs out there, like
Yeah.
super awesome. It was supposed to be
cool.
like TRL themed.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick. Cause anytime like I've been to a boat party once, and it was like the Justin Martin one.
Ooh,
And that was like
nice.
a really good one.
I missed that one, but
yeah.
I was jealous.
It was insane. But like just being on a boat is such a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And then going underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're just
Yeah.
there, and you're just like, "What the fuck is life right now?" Like you're just dancing, like and like in the bay,
Yeah.
like the literal bay. Like it's just so much fun. It's such a
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, we got so lucky on Alex's birthday boat party because it was in February, so we're all like, oh, it's gonna be so cold, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be awful, everyone's gonna hate it, blah blah blah. So we're like, well, let's do an early party. Let's do it at like 5:00 till 9.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and it was beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Like it was nice. We saw the sunset. It wasn't too cold. Like everyone was happy. And then I got off the boat, went directly to Temple, played a set back to back with Lena, and then after that went to this mansion party in Hillsborough, played a set there. Yeah, you got to go to have you ever been to the Hillsborough parties?
I haven't been
No?
out there
Hell
yet,
yeah.
but
Those are
no,
awesome.
yeah, like I've definitely heard like stories, I guess, and yeah, like the allure is definitely there.
Yeah, actually, I kidnapped Omnom and I took him there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
dude, that's
playing
fucking
like
crazy.
Was it not Fresh Start? What was the other one? Oh, It's a New Day. He was like,
Oh,
he
okay.
was there for It's a New Day, and I was just like talking to him backstage, and I was like, shit, I'm going to this mansion party. Do you want to come? He's like, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, let's go.
Fucking insane.
Couldn't convince him to play, but whatever.
Yeah.
I love Omnom too. I love his.
Yeah,
you know,
his
it's like
sound
so
and
fun.
style.
Like it makes me happy when it makes
Yeah,
me mad.
yeah.
I was like,
No, and then that Walker and Royce remix that they have is fucking crazy
Mm-hmm,
also. And yeah, I just love that camp. Like all those
Yeah.
artists when they were like editing each other's shit and like and like that whole like Dirty Bird
Mm-hmm.
like era, that even just the festivals. Like I only went to 2. Like 2018 and 2021, I think, like right before the pandemic, and literally like there's no other like collective or group or label that has like done that for me,
Yeah.
and it was just so much fun, like everyone who you meet and all, like everyone from the scene and everything. Like who would you say was like your who are your new influences now, would you say? Like any new artists that you listen to?
New artists. I mean, like I guess new to me because it's different than what I used to listen to. I like Jay Wara. Have you heard of Ranger Trucco? I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He's fun. Yeah, those are kind of some of my new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Like.
Deeper purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like right now, like I've been really into like weird, like not weird, I guess, but like just like Latin house, but like bass Latin house, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And it's just like it's like that old like Brazilian sound from like 2017. Like there's like a lot of womps, just like a lot of like Kyle Watson, like
Kyle
womps.
Watson, yeah.
And like those ones. So I'm just like deep diving on a bunch of Brazilians that I can't pronounce their names. Like, I'm sorry, I just can't pronounce your names, but you guys fucking slap. And yeah, like that new, like you, like that, like European, like 35 BPM plus vibe is just so appealing to me.
Yeah.
I just love that. Like I grew up in the festival stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it just reminds me of all that. But yeah, like, it's just so interesting to like, kind of talk to someone about like music taste and everything and like their influences, but like even with like you with like acting and doing musical theater and everything, like doing musical theater probably taught you a lot about music inadvertently, you know, just with like tone, you know, and pitch and being like synced up with everything, you know. So like how often do you think about that, like those past influences to like now?
You know, I don't know so much about the past, but it's funny, like what I'm doing now is like affecting like my other areas of my life. So like when I go to cycling class, it's like, they're like, okay, do whatever, you know, revolutions per minute. And you're like, it's like so easy for you to get on tempo because you're just like used to being a DJ.
Like,
so it's just it's funny. It's like, wow, being a DJ actually helps me in like other things. So yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. But like with you, like right now, like kind of me, like I'm like it way into my head and I think a lot for like, no obvious reasons. But like with like being so close and being like constantly in the machine out in San Francisco, you probably like are just constantly on to the next thing. So like, do you ever like really like sit down with your homies and just be like, damn dude, like we did that, like look at what we're doing, and like kind of celebrate that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely do that personally. Kind of now I'm at the point where like I have these friends who are like kind of acting as my managers, or they are my managers, and they're kind of just like, dude, you're doing too much, like you're overexposed, like you need to be more selective about what gigs you're doing, like you need to make a better rate, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So it's kind of just like it's starting to turn into like, oh, like my mentality when I first started, where it's just like say yes to all opportunity. Now it's kind of like, oh, I need to be a little bit more selective, and I need to be worried about like what the DJ collective's image is, you know, like maybe I shouldn't be playing at this bar or this thing or whatever.
That's
you
cool.
know? So,
that's cool that you have that mentality and you have those people in your corner.
Yeah,
I'm
starting
right.
to have that.
But at least you have those people in your corner, right?
Yeah,
Because there's too many DJs out there that are okay with just like the $50 that they're getting.
Yeah, no.
And that's no shot, but also like pay the people better, you know?
Yeah, dude. And that's like something like I've really had to realize, like to have a backbone. And, you know, I'm kind of uncomfortable sometimes like talking about money and like whatever, especially when it's for me. Cause I always had this like perception that, oh, I have my full-time career, you know, like this is just like extra income. But it's like, I don't want to be fucking taken advantage of. I don't want to lose money to go to your show. Like, you know, I had one recent, and it's like when homies book you and stuff, you're like, oh, they have my best interest. Like they're obviously gonna book me for a rate, because like who would ever ask their friend to like come over and cut their hair or whatever and not pay them? You know, it's just like you think like if it's an art, like you would pay them. So it's like I've had situations like that where it's like my homies book me for these gigs like at very successful clubs, and then I'm like, hey, what about payment? And they're like, oh, he's gonna pay you in food and drink credits. I'm like, okay, now I've realized like I need to be more strong up front. And like people have told me like they try and take advantage of like women in the industry because they think they're not gonna be strong. So it's like I'm at this like breaking point in the road where it's like I'm either going to get a backbone myself and like start, laying down the law about like what I deserve, or I'm gonna have a manager do it,
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask a question, and I don't mean it in this way at all, but it's the only way that I can kind of think of the question. But like, so how do you, like, as a female, right? Like, I hear about it all the time, where it's just like the moment that you get a backbone or the moment you say no, like they label you a bitch, right? And it's just like, or difficult to work with or whatever, but it's just like, dude, if a dude did that, you'd be okay with it. And like, I don't like, I talk to a lot of the female DJs in the industry, and it's like, yeah, like that's just so weird to me. So like, how do you, like you mentioned that you got a manager, or you have people who are kind of playing as your manager. So like that alleviates so much, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I constantly tell people. Is always to, like, as an artist, like, you need someone to talk for you, because the moment you say something wrong or like that offends someone, now you're labeled this, awful person. And it's just like, no, I just have self-respect, right?
Yeah.
So like as a female, right? Like, how do you, like, when did you kind of start like realizing that, like, oh, like they're like, did you ever feel like, oh, I'm getting these rates, or like I'm doing these things because like they're like simply because of like being a female?
Yeah, I think people definitely try to take advantage of women in the industry, and like what you were saying earlier about they'll label you as a bitch if you want to like stand your ground. I think that's 100% valid. Like, yeah, I read this book by Sheryl Sandberg, who is the COO of Facebook or Meta, whatever you want to call it, and she was talking about like how you have to be able to be firm, but also like still have that like feminine energy about it, like be sweet and compassionate, but also lay down the law. And it's just like, that's like, because I'm a Sagittarius, I'm direct, like, what are you?
Sag.
Sag.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. November 26th.
Okay, I'm December 5th.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like early on, but hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
It's
that
like
makes sense.
we're very direct, and stuff. And it's like I have to learn to filter myself and like not say exactly what I want. And it's just like this is like so much, like so
That's
much
literally me.
effort. It's like I'd rather just have homeboy like do the negotiating for me. Like I don't have to get labeled whatever, and he's probably gonna make more money than I would have made anyways with his cut. So it's like fucking just have him do it for me,
right? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's also like you're kind of like well established now, so it makes a little more sense. But also like, yes, that 1,000% yes, like the fact that you like realize that it's easier, right? It's just easier. Like you're not maybe making all of the money, but at the end of the day, you were never going to make that amount.
Yeah, exactly. And the most annoying part to me is the chasing the money, It's like, I'm not used to having to chase money. Yeah. It's like in all of my careers, it's like you get a paycheck, you get a blah, like whatever. Like your money is there when you expect it. But now in the industry, it's like you have to be like, hey, promoter, like you promised me you were going to pay this. I told you I wasn't going to play if you didn't pay me this. Like, where's my money? Like, oh, I didn't make any money on this show. Well, shit, like that wasn't our agreement. So like, run me my money.
Yeah. No, straight up. And like, yeah, it's it's just like it's so interesting to finally like be able to like talk to someone as direct, kind of, because like everyone kind of like sugarcoats it a little bit, and it's just like, no, like, dude, like what the fuck, I did you a service, pay me for what that we agreed upon, and if you didn't make money, like that's not our fault, like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it's like shitty to say, I guess, out loud, but also it's just like, you wouldn't do that to Artland. You wouldn't, so like, why are you going to, just because they're like, the thing that I don't like is like your rate is an end all be all of your value. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like if you're a 200 an hour DJ as a local DJ, like you're getting like or direct support slots at that point, right? And like if you're doing it, like most DJs are like 50 to maybe 100, right now, like if you're lucky, which sucks, you know, like, and then you hear like Dem 2 was saying like everyone in LA, like they get paid out well. But that's because it like it's the understanding that like we're both doing something for each other, right? So like if I pay you well, then you're gonna like market it, and repost it and do all that,
and that's the thing is, if we take a look at the value, like what some DJs are making and the value that they bring, like they may throw a great ass show, but on like financial terms, like the value that I bring, like I'm not gonna lie, I bring a fucking crowd. I promote it. Like I bring people. I make money for every club that I go to. So it's like I'm actually more valuable potentially sometimes than somebody who has been in the industry and like produces their own tracks and you know, just from like a financial aspect.
No,
you know,
for sure.
You know, so it's kind of like I need to stop devaluing myself and like my worth and think that just because like I don't have as much experience as some of these DJs, like I'm not worth as much.
Yeah.
Actually, I am worth as much because I'm making your club money, you know?
Exactly. No,
So-
yeah, for sure. And like, and it's like, I think sometimes me like at these like after hours or like at the clubs or whatever, when I'm hyping up my homies, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You know, but I talk to them like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's never like, oh, dude, I think you should be, you know, like maybe work on this a little bit. It's like, no, dude, like you should get paid this because you deserve it because you're awesome, right? And you did all this, you brought all these people, like, what are we doing? And it's not about the financial thing, but it's like like at the end of the day, it's kind of like it's like a respect thing, right? It's
Yeah.
it's literally what your value is.
Yeah.
You know, as
got-
an artist.
You got to tell your friends to get booked at Calypso because they pay a living wage and the guy gives you a check during your set.
Damn, that's kind of tight.
Like, that's dope. I know.
Yeah.
My first time, I was so stupid. I was like, oh my God, this guy loved my set so much, he gave me a tip. Because, I think before I even assumed that, I asked the promoter guy, and, like, he didn't tell me that it was the payment or not. Like,
Right.
he just kind of hinted at, like, that made me assume that, because I'm not that stupid usually. But anyway, yeah. So I was just like, it was so funny that I thought it was a tip. And then
That's
I
so
realized,
funny.
like, oh no, that's
Have you
actually
ever
my
gotten
payment.
a tip?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
Like,
Never mind.
I've seen like
Yeah.
like videos. I think like someone like Duada got like a or Sandra or something like that got
yeah.
a tip, and it was just so fucking funny just to like see like someone just tip someone to play a song and then you don't play the song.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
No, I'm not playing Bad Bunny or whatever. the fuck.
I know. The other day,
Don't
someone
take
came
your
up
tip.
to me
Yeah.
in the middle of my set, and she was like, it's so and so's birthday. Like, can you do something? And like me being like so not used to like playing those type of parties where people
Right.
like give you like requests and stuff, and like I never have a microphone. Like I didn't even connect like what she was talking about. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like send cake over there? Like send, you know, I know,
That's
dumb,
hella
I know,
funny.
dumb blah. I was like, what do you want? Like blah. And then
That's so
I thought
funny.
she like maybe wanted drinks, and then she looks. I was like, I'm DJing, and she was like, well, you don't have to be so rude about it. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. So I
But
felt
also
bad.
like, what are you gonna say? Like,
I know, I felt bad, and then and then later through my set, I saw the microphone there, and I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot, Olivia. Like she just wanted like a birthday
have
shout
you
out.
ever used the mic during your set though?
Never,
Neither have
never.
I. So it's
You
just
know-
like I'm not gonna start for some
Yeah,
random.
don't,
you know,
yeah.
like
Actually,
what the fuck?
Actually, one of my homies was playing at Rifa. He's a great DJ. He was playing at the Phoenix Hotel, and like he said something cool, like on the microphone. He was
Yeah.
about to like get onto a set. He was like, "Hey, give it up for so and so." Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Like, and then the people came over and they're like, "Don't you ever get on the microphone again." Unacceptable, you know, just like roasted him for doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, no, we're not gonna do that, you know.
No, that's hella funny. Yeah.
Wait, by the way, for that story, at the end of the night, once I realized that she wanted a birthday shout out, I did get somebody to sing the person happy birthday. So I'm not a total asshole.
No, I mean, honestly, I would have just maybe sent her a shot at, you know, like, and just been like, all right, well, like, I'll get you a shot once my set's over. But yeah, no, like the only time I've ever had that is, we throw like this after hour or after party thing at this small club or bar after Outside Lands. It's the bar's called Chug Pub, and literally like the exit of Outside Lands spits you out right in front of that bar, so people just funnel in. Right, there's like 200 plus people at like a 75 person capacity like venue, you know? So like it's just so hectic, and then like there's always like a party or like someone's birthday, or like something going on, and like these drunk girls were like, can you like sing, can you like stop and so we can all sing happy birthday? And I'm like, you just want me to just hit play and just pause everything just to like sing you happy birthday? Like, no. Like, yeah, and I've never done it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
That's so fucking weird. Would you say that was one of like the weirder experiences that you've had as a DJ?
Yeah.
Or like unexpected, right? Like,
yeah. So it was a Harvard law school party, and it was
shit.
at this really bougie club, like membership only.
Right.
So like very, entitled people. So like I wasn't even rude to her, but like she like was like, you don't have to be rude,
Saying
just like
no.
so used to like getting what they want. But yeah, that was definitely a weird experience. But
so
I
funny.
hope like I made it, up to her, at the end.
that's funny. No, yeah. Yeah, I can only like I've seen like horror stories from like DJs of just like people coming up to them constantly, or just like like in the middle of their mix, like their friends who aren't like don't have like DJ etiquette because they're not DJs, or just like talking to them, and they're like, all right, but like I'm working though, like, and it's just so
it's funny when they're like, oh, can you play this song? And I'm like, no, I don't have that. Oh, can you play this song? No, I don't have that.
They just like list off all the songs they know.
And then they're like, oh, but you're doing a great job. I'm like, am I really though? Am I really doing a great job if you're asking me to change the music? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I guess it's just like, I guess people still have that mentality of like DJs are just iPods,
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, but like some of us like really like we're like artists,
Yeah.
Like we thought about this set like weeks, or like whatever, we planned it and we like we made a playlist and we thought that this was gonna bang, because it explains us, as a people,
Mm-hmm. I know we're super flowing right now, but can we do a bathroom break?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. But like with everything that you guys kind of have going on and everything, like how hard has it been to kind of navigate through the industry, right? Like where like do you ever feel like you get these side eyes from people, I guess? Because of how fast you kind of like blew up, quote unquote.
No, 100%. Like I get hate from, so I'll just say like the hate that I get in the industry, a lot of times it's from the people who wish they were in my position, wish they were getting booked, and and that's kind of sad. So I feel a little bit empathetic for them, because I'm like, hey, I'm where I am right now, and I don't have any sort of negative feelings about any of the other DJs, because I'm confident with who I am and where I am. And even if I wasn't where I was, I probably wouldn't have those type of negative feelings against other people, because that's just not in my nature. But what I've really seen a lot of, like in the beginning of my career, and I've kind of just like shown the blockers to it now, is just like these older men DJs really hating on women. And they're hating on women because they're like, oh, she's just a half naked DJ. That's the only reason why she gets booked. Or like, she's been DJing for 2 weeks. That's the only reason why she gets booked. It's like, no, bro, actually, I'm doing a lot more than what you're doing. Because what I'm doing is I am throwing a party. I'm bringing a crowd. I'm creating a vibe. I'm promoting. I'm getting people in the door. I'm doing all these things. What are you doing, Joe Schmo? You're just like, on there, like playing vinyl. I feel
that 100%, because like, yeah, like I feel like I guess the more broad way of it is like you heard all like the hip hop artists being like, oh, this isn't real rap, like blah blah blah. Like that's what I feel like DJs are doing nowadays, and it's just like, no, we're just it's a newer sound, or we're just newer characters, right? And it's just like not all of us just want to come in with like you know, like a plain t-shirt and, you know, like kind of hide in the scene, like, and be like this mysterious person. Like some of us are like characters and like we were like, and like that's who we are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like funny. Like sometimes, like I'll hear stuff will come back to me that like other women say about me, and it's like, dude, I thought we were homies. Like, what the heck? How are you gonna like say that about me? And
sorry, not to cut you off, but like, okay, so as a woman in the industry, right? Like there is like a one woman limit, right? Minimum, right? On the lineup, right? So. Like, do you not feel that like you need to have one girl at least, like nowadays? Right, like that's the bare minimum that you should do. So like, do you feel like because there's such a limited spots on these lineups that girls kind of hate on one another, or like it's easier to kind of hate on one another because there's not that many looks? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I never thought about it that way, but I do think like, yeah, girls who are not getting booked, like some of them can be a little bit catty, you know, like
that's dudes also. Yeah. That's dudes also. And I'm jaded and I, you know, like if I hate on you, I'm sorry. But I'm jaded, you know, I'll say it.
It's like I had some girl, like it came back to me and she was like, oh, Olivia plays mainstream. It's like, like mainstream house or whatever. It's like, you know, like it's like, okay, like if that's what I mean, like maybe I do, like maybe if I'm playing Temple, you know, main stage of Temple for a mainstream crowd, yeah, dummy, that's what I'm gonna fucking play. It's like you kind of sometimes like at least the place where I am in the industry where I'm getting booked by big nightclubs, I have to play to that crowd. You know, I'm not in a place where I'm producing my own music and that where it's like I can be like, this is my sound. Like I'm only book me for this. It's like I try to do that as much as possible. But if I get booked for a main stage of Temple, like yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit more mainstream. And like, sorry, you're not getting booked for main stage of Temple.
Right. No. Yeah. No. That's super interesting to hear. Especially because it's just like
was that shiesty?
No, not really, because like this is how guys talk, you know, like when they're not at the club, right? They're always just like, oh fuck this dude, like blah blah blah, blah, you know, and like as much as like, you know, like that's just how people are. It's not it has nothing to do with gender or anything. It's just more so just like minor jealousy of like what someone else's success is just because you didn't get it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, there's only 4 people in a lineup.
Yeah.
You know, it's like only 4 people can play, you know? It's just like, dude, just relax. It's not that serious. Like, just be happy that someone, you know, is on that stage, you know?
Yeah.
Because they could have easily booked some random, you know, person from San Diego and given them the look, you know? But yeah, it's just like, it's crazy to me because like right now with what Lex is doing with Meraki out in Sacramento is like she's creating such a female driven crew out there. And it's so fucking tight because there isn't that avenue really for women. And like I'm sure but, you know, it's difficult, you know, just because the personalities are difficult with any collective, any group, anybody working at anywhere. But like like the intent is there. Right.
Yeah. No, you brought up a good point. Like when you were talking about like goals earlier, like one of my goals has always been to like have an all female like DJ collective. And like when I was doing the booking for the Basement of 1015, like that was always my goal, was to book like women, book as many women as possible. And it's a lot harder than you think. It's like, you know, they have other shit going on or like they can't do it, like whatever. And it's like, damn, like I really wish I could have like this collective of women, because I don't think there really is, like in San Francisco.
There really isn't.
You know,
there is certain crews that do give women more looks than others. And that's not like, I mean, it's kind of mostly predominantly because of sound, you know, like more like bass driven people are gonna have guys, you know, for the most part. But yeah, like it's just so interesting that there isn't like, you know, like a female crew out here. Because there should be, and y'all would destroy if you guys linked up together. You know, like y'all would fucking.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like for real, like, and it would only take like 4 of you guys.
I know, dude. I have like so many badass like DJ women friend. Like his friends, Jackie Little, Kat Luke, Diwata, like, dude, if we all could, Allie, Elysian, yeah, all of us, like, if we would have combined forces, someone just needs to take the initiative. I guess I have to do it.
I mean, like, or just speak it out to existence, you know? Like, I'm sure
I'm manifesting
if they see,
it.
Like, I'm sure if they see this, they'll be like, oh, dude, that would be tight. I didn't know that someone else maybe had that intent. You know?
Right. And, like, not to say women are better than men, but, like...
But women are better than men.
Yeah. But, like, you know, sometimes, like, guys, like, if you're picking a show, like, would you rather go to a show with, like, an all-female, like, babe lineup? Or would you rather go to a show with, like, all dudes? You know?
Yeah.
Like, we do have a little bit of an edge, like, in that stance. So it's, like, I feel like if we were to have, like, an all-female DJ collective, like, we could be fucking killers out there.
For sure. And, like, the thing is, like... If we're 1,000% honest, like female DJs in comparison to male DJs, I would say their follower count is already doubled, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Just, you know, just based on like, like not like, most of the girls out here are not like ugly girls, right? Who are doing this stuff. So like, yeah, they get the pretty vote, but they also throw the fuck down, you know? Yeah. They fucking kill it every single time.
And we like have a production, or at least I do, you know, like I dance,
right? And it's just like we're like whatever it is, right? Like even with like someone like Diwata, right? She kind of like goes in like she goes in her breakbeat shit, you know, and then she brings it right back, and it's just like she has like this weird like quirky like. I'm just like not just like I'm happy to be here, but like I'm gonna show you who I am. And mentality, which is really cool.
Yeah, I actually went to Colorado with them. Nate 08.
Oh, when they played for with Dirty Bird, right?
Claude Von Stroke was playing at the sickest venue in Colorado. It's this museum called Meow Wolf. I don't know if
I love Meow Wolf.
Yeah, dude. So they had a show there with 4 different stages. So Nate 08 played there, Mike Kerrigan, Lebelski, all of them opened up for, played while Claude was there. It's fucking sick.
Yeah. Nate was honestly supposed to come last week.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
But like due to like scheduling and everything, like, you know, but we'll make it happen, I swear.
Oh my God, dude. Like, I'll nudge him.
Yeah, like that would be really cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Him and Mike Karen, I hope that like they come together.
Yeah,
because that would be really cool. Especially because they have that new song.
Penguin Hit Squad.
Right.
Yeah, so, dude, that shit's popping off.
And Claude just did his own edit to it and everything.
Dude,
so it's just like, it's like, dude, like, fuck yeah. Dude.
I know, that's what I like. That's when I pinch myself. It's like I've been like so obsessed with like Dirty Bird music and like that sound, and now it's like I actually have homies that are like about to or like getting signed for it. You know, it's like that's kind of cool. Like I'm kind of in it. You know, like they got me backstage and everything like at this cool show, and then like we went and after partied with like all of them. You know,
it's so sick. Like even just seeing like I knew of Fully before meeting him, right? So like
he has a show this Saturday.
Yeah. So like I've literally just been like, you know, like I've like heard of the name, right? And then next you know, like I went to a show and he was there and I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like who, like I didn't know he was from the Bay, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't do my research or anything. And like once I met him, I was just like I literally like fangirled a little bit, you know? I was like, oh my God, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
like,
dude,
you know?
I love his music. Like, he is a great producer. Yeah, dude, all of those guys that we just talked about were really great producers. Really,
and it's so
really
weird.
like
It's
them.
so sick. It's so sick. Like, honestly, it is so much fun being part of the industry a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it also sounds so cliche to say the industry, you know? But like, that's what it is, right? Like, we're in it. Like, our friends are fucking actually like releasing shit. Even someone like Ampersand, right? Even like,
she's so good.
You know? And like,
dude.
yes, she's in. We're also talking to her to come through. But like, yeah, dude, like it's just so much fun just to be like, dude, like people who I know are doing shit, you know, like really like following their dreams while working a 9-to-5 or whatever, you know, and like keeping up with all that because they care and they want to like succeed in this, you know, which is so fucking cool. And it's just so much fun to like be a part of. Even if it's just me watching. You know, it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I remember Ampersand. So my friend Cody, who's my manager now, he had a loft right above Monroe, and it was like the party place. That was like where we all went and partied. Like you know, they had a rooftop, like everything, like coolest spot ever. But unfortunately, like the lease ended and Monroe bought them out. But anyway, I saw Ampersand like do a set there, and I was like, who the fuck is this girl? This girl is so fucking fire. Like, dude, honestly, like, we need to talk about her more because she's so good. Like, that's how I just feel like a lot of these men who are like good, but they're just getting like so much more attention. I mean, I guess never mind. She's getting a ton of attention.
No, for sure.
She just played on the whole.
Not to the point that she should.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think it's fair that she isn't getting enough headlining spots.
Yeah.
I do not think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because she definitely deserves it. And more collectives should fucking put her there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she has put in the work, she's done the hours, and she's like, she's released more on labels than some of the people who are headlining local stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
You know, and like also like maybe it's scheduling and I get it, you know, and also she has self-respect and she has a rate.
Yeah. She has self-respect.
You know?
Yeah. I tried to book her for the basement at 10:15 and she was like,
and I get it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like I get it. It's hard, you know? But like also like you just I don't know. That's just me personally anyways.
Yeah, no,
because she's played for shows for us, and we did like a Sadie Hawkins dance, right? So
what?
It was an all female lineup.
That's cool.
And it was just like a lot of fun, right? And we all dressed up, you know, like prom night or whatever. And it was just fun. And yeah, like we had her as our headliner, and like like that's where she deserves to be on an all female lineup. What other female in the Bay Area has that many releases?
Yeah, that's a good yeah. Thank you for bringing her up because that reminds me I should see if we could book her for Star Vibes Camp Out.
Yeah, no,
they're looking for headliners.
She's done it. She's done it before, right?
Yeah?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I also, you know, like she's also on a lot of, you know, line.
Yeah,
you know,
she just played that. Was it Friendship? Friendship.
That's yeah. And she also opened up for, it was Black V-neck.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Black V-neck.
and someone else, I think. But yeah, like she opened up at the at the Midway.
Damn, I haven't played at the Midway yet.
I've only done the patio. You know,
that's okay.
It's still, but I can still say I did the Midway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I opened up for the Sponges with.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah, with Tiana.
Can you tell I'm like 3 White Claws in a shot deep? Sorry.
No. Honestly, yeah, I
love the Sponges. Dude, actually, I think I got in trouble for playing a Sponges song at Halcyon.
Why?
Well, the manager came up to me and he was like, yeah, no bass house during peak hour, or like no bass house at Halcyon. Like, that's not the vibe. And I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, did you see the crowd? Did you see everyone was fucking gigging? And also, like, I'm opening up for Mal P, and Mal P is like that kind of like music. Vibe, it was such a fucking vibe. Like, afterwards, the owner like told me, she's like, I loved your set, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
honestly, as long as you had people dancing and moving, you know, you did your job, right?
Yeah,
like, people can say what they want, but like, if people were there and moving and having a good time, you did your job.
Yeah, I really need to put that set up on my SoundCloud.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, dude, drop that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Drop
I was
that.
like, the other day I was driving to a work happy hour and I was like, let me listen to my set from Halcyon, and I was like, fucking gigging.
Okay,
I was
so
like,
how
is
often?
this weird to like gig to your
Okay,
own set?
I was about to ask you. Okay, so like, do you think it's weird to listen to your own like set?
No.
Right? Because I do it often.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, dude.
Like I like if I know I'm going to SF, right? I'll mix like a 45 to 50 minute or an hour long mix just so I have like a playlist.
Yeah.
You know, while I'm driving up. And I'll only listen to it that day, but also it's just like it's nice to be like, oh, like these are the songs that I like. This worked, this didn't work. I can probably switch this song with this song.
Yeah, that's smart.
You know, and do that. Cuz I mentioned this like earlier podcasts where like I kind of see music and DJing very similar to like comedy, right? So you have a certain amount of time that you're playing, but you also like you have these smaller gigs, right, where you practice and you're like this joke after next to this joke or blah blah blah, or like this song next to this song, and then next you know I have a 15-minute long, you know, whatever. So it's just like, yeah, that's kind of how I view it. And it's like it's nice to like re-listen to those things where you like it makes sense and you're like, oh shit, that does sound good.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, before my halcyon set, I was had my friends CDJ's 3000s like at my mom's house, and I was like practicing like with the speakers and everything. And I thought I had this. So first, I thought I had this set, and I played it at F8 on Wednesday. And then met the manager, and he's like, "No, you could play a little bit more bangers," because I've always been like super conservative, like as an opener, or like kind of conservative.
Right.
Like I don't want them to be like, "Oh, she played too many bangers," like blah blah blah. You know?
Okay, can I ask you? This is like a personal question to you as a DJ, right?
Yeah.
So because you've had the opportunities to kind of like speed up the process as to like the stages that you're playing at, right, or the venues that you're playing at, do you feel like, since you're still just a smaller local act in comparison to like the headliners, have you ever really practiced trying to play like your set, like your headlining set? Or do you go into your opening sets like, oh, this is my headlining set?
No. So I recently played Temple downstairs, like for Jay's actual birthday. Yes, we keep talking. We keep talking about this man's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jay. But yeah, no. So we played back to back, and it was like from 12 to 1 or 1:30. But yeah, that's when I definitely like played the bangers. And stuff. But yeah, no, I do have like my opening sets, which are a fine line between like banging it out, but also not being like disrespectful to the headliner.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I like going into my halcyon set, I was like, I don't want to like be disrespectful because I know it's gonna be a full, like it's gonna be sold out, and I know they're like super selective about the music.
Yeah.
But then the manager was like, no, you could do more. So then I started practicing more, and then my mom told me, she's like, no, you need to play more songs like these bangers.
Yeah.
Like, you know? And
that's
then,
so cute.
And then I was like,
awesome.
Shit. Like, last minute, I'm changing everything.
Yeah.
So, like, not everything, but like half of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm taking out that, I'm taking out that, I'm taking out that. And I'm putting in more bangers, more bangers, more bangers. And then I did it. And then it was like flawless. Like, it was the best set ever, you know?
Yeah. No, that's fucking okay. Dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. I honestly, like, there's not too many times where like DJs get to like be like, hey, what is your method of practice, right? You know, like how you get it, you know, into these sets. So it's super interesting to hear like how you do it, right? And like also taking into account the position that you're playing in, which is super important. Because like if you're an opener, you're an opener, but also you have to showcase yourself a little bit, right? So it's just like, that's super interesting. And it's also like super cute that like your mom was just like, hey, I feel like moms are always moms. So they're like, those songs don't sound like you. So play more songs like this. Yeah. And I feel like that's what she was kind of saying.
Yeah. She was like, I want to hear more with like women vocals, you know, because that's what people like. That's what people make. Like, that's what makes people want to dance.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
And I'm like, you're not wrong. And I was like, yeah.
Was your mom ever into like the music or the dance scene?
No. Like, my mom is crazy. Like, she was super straight edge, right? She's never done a drug in her life. Like, she doesn't drink. Like, she's
neither do I.
Yeah, like she's so she's so perfect, you know? So every time I see her, like every time I go to her house, she's like, Olivia, my one wish for you is that you stop drinking. I'm like, dude, I'm not an alcoholic. Like, relax.
I just like a good time.
You know, like I just drink occasionally. But my dad was more of like the fun one.
Where are your folks from?
So my dad lives in Los Gatos. He was like,
but were they born and raised out here?
No, my dad's from Ohio.
Oh, okay.
He lives in Los Gatos, so like that's where we grew up. He was VP of sales for like a bunch of tech companies throughout my childhood. Like, was never home. Like, was always like traveling for business. And then when I got into high school, he decided like, this is not making me happy. So
Damn, that's super interesting.
Yeah. So he was
Whoa.
like, I have enough money to live the rest of my life, like conservatively.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to quit what I'm doing and I'm going to be here for my kids. Like I'm going to go to Olivia's basketball games. Like I'm going to do this. Like, and then he like really started being present in our
Right.
lives. And now he's writing books. Like he's an author.
That's fucking tight.
Yeah. He has 1 million views on Quora. Like he like
Yeah.
answers people's like spiritual questions and like all this stuff. Like, so
Yeah.
he's like a hippie, but like really smart. Like he went to Princeton, like
Yeah.
had a scholarship to Princeton, like super cool guy. Like honestly, like, you know, like love my dad, like really like dope person.
Yeah.
He came to one of my, so him and my mom came, they're divorced now, but him and my mom came to like one of my sets at Monarch, and he's just like he's also sober, but he's like such a funny guy who's like dancing on the
He's like a
dance
free
floor.
spirit.
Yeah, he's like dancing on the
Yeah.
dance floor, and he goes, shouldn't have taken that second ecstasy. And
Yeah,
like
just
I
like-
got it on video, and I'm like, oh my god, what are people gonna think of my dad?
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
But-
That's so sick.
Yeah.
I feel like most people, right, have like one of their parents were like the free spirited horse, you know,
Yeah.
just running around, you know, and then someone lassoed the, you know, like brought him in, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like my mom is kind of the same way. Like I feel like she was just so lively, but then she had 2 kids at a very young age, you know, so
Yeah.
now she's like out and about doing her thing and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's so interesting to see. Like with you saw your dad do that at a young age. But for me, I'm seeing that my mom do that at like 24 is when she really started like
Dude,
doing things.
My
right?
mom had me at 42.
Yeah. Oh, my mom had me when she was 19.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What zodiac sign is she?
She is in Aries.
Aries. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
fun.
think.
Fun. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's just like it's just super. It's just super weird. And like, honestly, like the fact that like now honestly, it was mentally, personally. Once you told me you were Sagittarius, like I feel like everything.
What
like
are you?
like
I'm a Libra.
Libra.
yeah.
I love
like,
Libras.
Yeah, like literally,
That's the
like it
best
just
sign.
like it just literally like it like broke like walls, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
in a weird way. But like, yeah, dude, it's so sick. Cause like,
Cheers to being an astro hoe.
oh, I don't have a drink. That's bad luck. Here. But no, that's sick.
Yeah,
And-
so my dad is a Libra.
Oh, cool.
And
that
I
makes
fucking
sense.
love Libras, right? The nicest people ever. Like so easy to get along with.
but
He's
also will always have your back.
Yeah.
like they'll like ride for you, which is dope.
He's always like, I love going out with the Sag because they always tell us like where we're going to dinner, like, you know, because Libras are
Indecisive.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are known for being
like,
indecisive. So he's
make
like,
up your mind.
I'm always like, Dad, like, where do you want to go to dinner tonight? He's like, oh, I don't care. Like, you choose. And I'm like, okay, we're going here. We're doing this. We're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's sick. I see why you kind of have like the 360 mindset, if that makes sense, where you're just like, yes, I'm a DJ, but also I'm a performer, but also when I'm not on the decks, I still have to like be involved, and then also be like, oh well, maybe I'm not thinking about this, but I have other people thinking of like the back end of bullshit, right? So like that's sick, because I'm like that, and I'll plan it, but I don't want to do it. If that makes sense, you know,
Yeah.
Like I can, I like being able to be like, okay, I'll paint you the picture and I'll do everything, I'll like blah blah blah, but like, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I see the like the architect mindset in you, which is cool. But yeah, dude, fuck yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers.
But outside of that, I guess, do you have any final words? Anything where they can catch you? Anything like that? Like where the people can see you?
Yeah. So follow me on Instagram. That's the easiest way. I post all of my shows on my story mainly, and sometimes on my feed. But that's the best way to search me up. You could also follow me on Facebook, but I don't use that as much. So definitely Instagram. My Instagram handle is Olivia. So it's OHHHLIVIAH.
Hell yeah. No, yeah. Once again,
It's a mouthful.
I'm super hyped that you came through. and just like getting like a female's perspective on a lot of it, it was really cool to like deep dive on it. Was like is definitely unique, especially for the area that we're in. So thank you for that. And yeah, like if you guys want to follow me, it's at George.Daniel __. All of your Meraki content will be at Meraki Bay Area.events. And for all of the Sacramento stuff, with all of everything that Alexa's been doing, which, dude, next month we're fucking booked and busy out there, dude. It's insane. So go check out Meraki Sac at .events. And yeah, outside of that, Matt, do you want to plug anything?
Just my Instagram, Matthew.Talbot. I'll put it below.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do podcast stuff, hit me up.
Yeah. So, yeah, with the podcast stuff being said, BTS, there's been a lot of talks as like maybe like starting a mini production team. So if you have any dreams or aspirations to like maybe start a podcast, but you don't have the resource for it, or you don't know the knowledge of it, just hit us up. We'll be happy to help work out any sort of details and iron that out. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Yep. We haven't cracked episode 20 yet, but it's cooking.
Getting there.
So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing. Thank you for not making me feel like uncomfortable and weird. You guys are fucking awesome.
No, yeah. No, I would never do that.
I don't know. You know, like I've never been on a podcast. Like I don't know how my voice sounds. Like I don't know what questions you're gonna ask me, but this was super dope. I had the best time ever. Thank you.
Hell yeah. No,
my Sag brother. My Libra brother. Yes.
But yeah, we love you guys. And yeah, peace.
Bye.